Heartache, who was a Royal Ascot winner last year. What did you make of her comeback at Haydock the other day?
Sure, I mean, I think she was taken on horses that had already had a run. I'm hoping that she's going to improve. She's pleased me with her well-being since. We've still got to prove that she's up to the test over 6 furlongs, which this is the only place we can really go. She has got a lot of speed, there's no doubt about that, the way she won the Queen Mary last year. So I'm hopeful that we can just prove that was a race we could improve on last time, and I hope we can.
It was always the plan to go to Haydock. There wouldn't have been anything for her before, or?
No, not really. I mean, she doesn't like soft ground, so the pavilion wasn't in the running at all, really. So, I think she just did everything so easily before going to Haydock that I was, the way she flattened out, I was a little bit surprised, but I hope we can build on that.
Another one who loves fast ground is Zonderland. He had it in the Lockinge at Newbury, but perhaps he just might have needed the outing that day. Is that
Most
fair?
definitely did, yes. Yeah, I think we were aware of that. We'd had a tricky spring for Zonderland, and he's a year older and a lot. He'd put on some real bulk over the winter as well. But I'm thrilled he's not missed a day since then, and I'd be hopeful that we can really, I'm quite excited about his chances of putting in a big show on Tuesday.
Because perhaps we saw in the Lockinge, it's an open marling division. There's no Frankel, there's perhaps not even an celebration or Ribchester around this year.
No, I think he just got chinned by Lightning Spear last year in the Goodwood Celebration Mile. So I think with him winning the Lockinge, it gives me every hope and belief that we can match that, a return to that level of form.
And Perfect Clarity, our Oaks runner, she didn't like the ground. So let's hope the sun keeps shining. Is that the idea?
Certainly hope so. Yes, I think without a shadow of doubt, she's one that I would be impressed with her progress up until the Oaks, and the ground was just too soft for her there. And she did have a hard race without any gain in the Oaks. So we've just crept away. She seems to have come to herself the last few days. So I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to go there with a dry surface.
Ascot can sort of be a graveyard for Epsom horses, Derby, and perhaps Oaks runners as well. That would be at the forefront of your mind, not sort of overfacing her.
I don't think so. I think we've got to, we've kept a neutral mind on the whole thing, and she appears to be coming to herself the last few days. So I hope that continues to be the case.
And that wasn't her true colours at Epsom, was it? We don't think.
Not at all.
No. Moving on completely different. Tis marvellous in a Woking big handicap like that. He had a couple of runs in Dubai, did he? How might he shape up in that?
He's done really well since he came back from Dubai, actually. And I was pleased with his last run at Newmarket. He's just a horse that needs a bit of confidence, really. I think if we can, he definitely needs a drier rather than a slower surface. So that will be important for his best performance. But I'd be hopeful, there's a couple to come out before we get in. But with a bit of luck, he could make his presence felt.
And a couple in the Britannia mix are Kraken and El Jalabi. Two nice horses, nice 3-year-olds.
Kraken's been absolutely amazing. He showed a real turn of foot at Lingfield when he won first time up, and then the Silver Bowl was equally impressive, He's come back really well, very confident and full of himself. So I don't think, ground issues, he wouldn't want it too firm, but I think the track will suit him well, and with a little bit of luck, with a tidy enough draw around some pace, I would be hopeful. He's done nothing wrong this year.
And Al Jalabi is going to have an entry in that as well.
Al Jalabi also, he ran a nice race at his 2-year-old form was good, and he made a pleasing reappearance at Ascot first time back this year. And I think with a little bit of luck, likewise he just needs a couple to come out. So with a bit of luck, he'll make his presence felt as well.
So the majority of yours don't want much rain, but I think one that does is Connect. Or you want some ease in the ground for him. He was a winner at Epsom on Derby Day.
That's right. He just doesn't want it too firm, and that was great. We put the hood on for the first time at Epsom. That was a big help in the right direction, and the way that the race unfolded, he got a really dream run up the inside as well. So, but he's bounced back from there in great order, and so yeah. But if it was too firm, it would count against him.
And that was a handicap, but you've sort of always thought he was a sort of pattern horse, so he looked like that as a 2-year-old, and moving him up, this is the right way to go, and he's gone up, I imagine, for winning it.
Yeah, sure, but he's a horse that, you know, he was on 100 at Epsom, so it wasn't as if he was sneaking in at the bottom of the handicap or anything. He was, you know, those sort of races are pretty tough, and the history of that race, you know, some nice horses won that race on their way to better things.
So juveniles now, Concheck and Getcha, 2 speedy juveniles. What's the story of them? And they could have a few entries, couldn't they?
Most definitely, yeah. Concheck is going to be in the Coventry and the Norfolk, purely and simply because I would like to run him on the quicker ground, and I would prefer to keep him over 5 than 6 at 6 at the moment. I do think he's you know, he's done really well. It was a great run in the National Stakes.
From a bad draw.
From a bad draw, on ground that was probably easier than ideal for him as well. So he's done really well since then. Getcha, he won first time up at Ascot and beat a nice field too. And we've just looked after him. I mean, I was amazed he was able to win over 5, although he'd gone well. I thought on the day he'd probably just be taking a stepping stone to by Champs-Élysées over 6 and 7 furlongs. So we'll have a look at the Coventry with him. The weather forecast looks a little bit indifferent, and you know, and then on the Saturday as well, we'll have a look at the end of the week with that in mind as well.
That's the Chesham.
The Chesham, absolutely over 7.
And back-to-back Queen Mary's, Shades of Blue.
Yeah, she did us proud when she won first time out at Ascot. Really professional. Couldn't be more pleased the way she's trained since. We preferred not to run her with a penalty on really dry ground, in as much as the experience that she showed first time couldn't really be improved on. So very happy with her, but she would prefer drier rather than slower ground as well.
Yeah, and then finally, I think now Children's going to have an entry in what the King George is.
Yes, he will. He needs a few to come out, so we'll just, you know, we'll have to hold on to our shirt sleeves there and see whether he gets a run, but he's in good form.
7 Royal Ascot winners. Is it how big a week is it for you in terms of the year?
Oh, very much. I think the whole year is geared to this coming week, as everybody knows, and yeah, it means an awful lot. So we'll be pleased if we can bag a winner somewhere.
What's the best chance of making it 8? And is it the big one?
Well, Harry's in great form, as we've just talked about, and I suppose he's probably going to be the most supported from a favourites point of view. But I'm pleased to say we'll have, you know, some nice chances most days. So we're looking forward to it.
Would you care to suggest a sort of another one of the we've mentioned that is getting you excited?
They're all going there with a live chance. I wouldn't want to single one out, not at all really. And it will obviously be slightly finer tuned by the weather.